So section lesson 3, we're going to talk about foiling, distributing. So again, we're talking about multiplying two things here. We have a binomial times a polynomial. That's 2 times 2, so we should have 4 terms. Right? So we should have 4 terms. And you think about it, again, we're multiplying two things so we can think about area. And area is length times width. So we can think about multiplying two things. So I'm multiplying a 2 by 2. 2 by 2, so we should have 4. So here's my length, and here's my width. So now I'm taking my area 2, or my length 2x times my width 3x to get this area, so that's a 6x squared. Always remember, x times x is x squared. Then I take this width again, 3x, and times it by this length 4, so I get a 12x. And then 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. And then 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28. And then these two we can combine, right? Because they both have x's. So minus 14, I owe $14. I pay back 12. I still owe $2. And then 6x squared, and then minus 28. So that is the using the distributive property. Because I'm distributing, I'm taking 2x and multiplying by 3x, 2x by negative 7. And then I take 4 times 3x, and then 4 times negative 7. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and try this one on your own. Alright, so you can do it in the area model. Again, I have a 2 by 2, so 2 times 2 is 4, so I should have 4 terms. X minus 6 is my length. 4x plus 3 is my width. And here I'm multiplying, so I get a 4x squared, I get a negative 24x, I get a 3x, and I get a negative 18. These two are the same, so I can multiply those, or sorry, add those. So I owe $24, and I pay back 3, I have negative $21. I owe 21. Okay. You can do it the FOIL method, right, if you want to. Show that in the next one. So now I'm going to use the FOIL method, even though it says use the table. So if you want to, you could switch those. But basically, they're doing the same thing. So the FOIL method, the F-O-I-L stands for first, outside, and sometimes people use different words for these, inside, and last. Okay. So first is first times first, so x times 4x, that equals a 4x squared. Then outside, so the two outside ones, so x times negative 5, so that's a negative 5x. Then inside, the two inside ones, so negative 3 times 4x, negative 12x. And then final, the last two, negative 3 times negative 5. It's a positive 15. And then again, these both have the same, so we can combine them. So we get a 4x squared minus $5, and I borrow 12 more. So I owe $17, and then a positive 15, so I need to put a plus sign. So there's using the distributive property, or using FOIL. It's basically double distribute. Take x, distribute it to both that second binomial, and then take negative 3 and distribute that both. So it's a double distribution there. So go ahead and try. If you haven't used a table, you can use a table. If you have used the table, try the FOIL method. So pause the video and work through it, then come back and watch it if you need to. So 3x times x, then 3x times 4, then 1 times x, and then finally the last one, 1 times 4. So we get 3x squared, we get 12x, and we get 1x, and then we get a 4. Again, we can combine these because they both have x's, so 12x plus another x is 13x. We have our 3x squared. It's a positive 13x, so put a plus sign, and it's a positive 4, so put a plus sign. There's our trinomial. Okay. Oh, I guess I keep going backwards. Now use a FOIL. So that was the FOIL method. So I guess I'll use the double distribution. They're all three the same thing. All right, so double distributing is taking 5x and multiplying it by 2x plus 1. So this is really the distributing one. Okay, and then I'm going to take the second one, negative 3, and I'm going to distribute that to the same one. Okay, and you can put a plus sign in between because you're going to add like terms once you're done with these two. So I distribute first. So I get a 10x squared, and then I get a plus 5x. Then over here I get a negative 6x and a negative 3. And then I'm going to combine like terms, right? Got addition in between. So I have a 10x squared, a 5x minus 6x. If I have $5, I can't spend 6. I have to borrow $1, right? And then I have a negative 3, so put a negative sign. So that is the distributed way. Sorry for all the mix-up, but any way that you feel is best that you can do, you do that way. I'm not picky. Unless the homework says do a certain way, go ahead and try that way just so you can practice the different methods. So try this one on your own. Do a way that you haven't done. If you haven't done distributing, do that. If you haven't done foiling, do that. If you haven't done the table, do that. Okay. So pause the video, try it on your own. Here I'll go ahead and distribute again. I already did 3x, so now I have to do the negative 4. So the negative 4. This works good. This method works good when you start going backwards, when you're factoring, when we're dividing out by grouping. It's the same kind of way here, just in reverse. So 3x squared plus 6x, negative 4x. Again, I'm adding in the middle, adding like terms. Negative 4x, and then a negative 8. So $6, spend 4, you have $2 left. And it's a positive, so put a plus sign, and negative 8. So there you go. So here during with surface area, so surface area is just the area all the way around, right? So when we have a cylinder, that means we have a circle on top and a circle on bottom, but it's the same size circle, right? So I just need to find the area of one of the circles and times it by 2. And the area for one circle is pi r squared. Here our r squared is an x plus 1. So I want to take x plus 1, that's my area, I want to square it, and then times it by pi. Okay, that'd be the area of one circle. Then if I want 2 circles, I would just have to times this by 2. So first of all, I'm going to FOIL this out, because squared means I have 2 of them, so I literally have 2 of them, 2 binomials, times by pi, and then I'll times it by 2 at the end. Okay, so we FOIL this out, or use a table or a distributive method, and we get x squared plus another x plus 1. And then we're going to times that by 2 and times it by pi. So we can simplify first, combine like terms, so we have 2 x's in the middle, and then pi and by 2. So I can times by my 2 here first by pi, so it just looks like this. It's the same thing. Okay, and then I can distribute this 2 pi to all 3. So I have 2 pi x squared. I have a 4x pi, or pi x, however you want to say it. Doesn't really matter where it is because it's all multiplication. And then I have a plus 2 pi. So that is the surface area of just the 2 circles. Okay, now I have to find the circles. So if I cut the circles off, right, and I cut down this line, then I can basically open this up, fold it this way and fold it this way, and what do I get? Well, I'm going to get a rectangle, right? And the rectangle's height, or you can say width, is x plus 4. And then what's its length? Well, its length was taking this cutting right here, I would fold it, and wouldn't that be just the distance of x plus 1 and the distance of x plus 1 this way? So that means I would have 2 x's and a plus 2. So when I split it, right, take that square and I have an x plus 1 radius this way and I have an x plus 1 radius this way, so I have a total of 2x plus 2. It would be my length there, so then area equals length times width. So my length is the 2x plus 2, and I times that by my width, which is x plus 4. And now I can FOIL or do the table method or double distribute. Doesn't matter which one you do. So I get 2x squared. I get a positive 8x. I get a 2x, it's positive, so put a plus sign, and then I get a plus 8, the last one. Combine like terms, so I get the area of the square, or the square, it's not a square, it's a rectangle. But, so area of the rectangle is equal to 2x squared plus 8x, or 10x really, right? Because I combine like terms, so I get 10x plus 8. So 10x plus 8. And now the surface area would be all these total, right? So adding all these together. So adding these together, I can't add them because these all have pi's, right? So the total surface area would be adding these together. So I would have a 2 pi x squared plus 4 pi x plus 2 pi plus 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. And so that would be the whole surface area of that. So let's look what's similar. Best describes the polynomial. So looking at these answers, I can see that my answer is not in there, and that is because when I did the area of the rectangle here, when I cut the circumference of the circle, so when I cut that right there and I fold it back, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, so 2 pi r. So then I need to change this, I need my pi in there, so I need to have a pi here and a pi here, which basically just changes this answer to having pi's in all of these. So now I can combine like terms because now I have a pi in all those. So now I have a total of 4 pi x squared plus 14 pi x. Oops, I probably should erase this. And then a pi, 8 pi there. So 8 pi and 2 pi is 10 pi. And now I can see, okay, now the total surface area. So the surface area is equal to that, which is, come back up here, that is 10 at the end, 14, this one, C. Okay, so yeah, a little mess up there because when I cut this, I'm looking at all the way around. That would be the length of the rectangle here, and the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So remember, circumference is 2 pi r, so I have our r, so that would be 2x pi plus 2 pi, and then when I FOIL it out, it would look like that. Okay, so go ahead and try that one on your own. Remember these formulas. So now you have your radius and you have your height, so it's kind of the same exact problem, except for now your radius is different. So remember, area of a circle is pi r squared, but since I have two circles that I'm finding the surface area, so the surface area of both of those circles would be 2 pi r squared. Remember, your r squared, you need to times it by itself, and then the surface area for the rectangle would be taking your length, which would be 2 pi r, because your circumference of a circle, and then timesing that by the width, which or the height, I guess for this problem would be the height. Okay, so use those formulas. Go ahead and pause it, try those out, and I'll go about it. Okay, so taking this one, 2 pi r, and then timesing, since I have two of them, I need to times it by 2, right? So 2 pi times r squared, my r is x plus 2, quantity squared, and so when I FOIL that out, I get x squared plus 4x plus 4, and now I'm going to times that by 2 pi, so I get 2 pi x squared plus 8x, or pi x, plus 8 pi, this one multiply 2 pi r. My r is x plus 2, and my height is x plus 4. Same kind of deal here. We have x squared plus we're gonna get a 6x here, and then plus 8, and then we're gonna times that by 2 pi. So we have 2 pi x squared plus 12 pi x plus 16 pi. Now we can combine like terms for our total surface area. So it's surface area, the whole thing, is equal to 4 pi x squared plus 20x pi x. Doesn't matter which one comes first there. And then 16 and 8 pi. 16 pi and 8 pi is so you can see that. So that is what? 24. So plus 24 pi. So there is our surface area. Okay, here a little bit bigger, right? So we're going to FOIL this. This time we have 3 terms times by 2 terms, so we should get a total of 6 terms, right, when we're multiplying here. So if you want to do it the area method, you want to do FOIL, that's fine. If you do FOIL, I have to take each one of these and times it by each one of these, right? So you can distribute. You can use the distributed one. You can use the table, or you can use FOIL. FOIL is going to be a little bit more because I have 3 times 2. Okay, and then my 2 are right here. So notice that I have 6 boxes here. So I got to find the area of that. So we have 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus x. Then we have a negative 6x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9, and then I have an x in there, so I'll put a plus 9. And then negative 3 times negative 1, or positive 1, is a negative 3. Now we can combine like terms. These both have x squareds. These both have x's. So we have a 2x cubed minus 6 minus 3 more. Borrow $6, borrow 3 more. I borrow $9. And then I have 9 plus 1 is 10. And then I have my negative 3. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Go ahead and do this next one on your own. Try this one out. Pause the video and I'll go ahead and do it. I'll do it the distributive way. So I got to take each one of these. And distribute it to each of the second term. So I got to distribute each one of these. So that's a 6x to the third minus 21x squared. Now I got to distribute this one. So I get a positive, 2x squared minus 7x. Distribute this one, so we get a negative 10x and a positive 35, because a negative times a negative is a negative. Or positive, sorry. Okay, now we can combine like terms again, right? These two have both x squared, so I owe $21. I pay back 2. I still owe $19, right? I have negative 7x and a negative 10. I borrow $7. I borrow 10 more. I owe $17, right? And then plus 35, and then my x, 6x cubed here. And so that would be my final product there. Okay, so that's it. You can go ahead and take this. You can start working on your homework. You can review this. Send me a message if you have trouble on your homework through Edmodo, and then I'll reply to that.